What's up, y'all? It's good and bad news. This is my intro for the BFL on Lake Toho. That was about a week ago. I'm just now filming this intro. Good news is I made my first top 10. I got 10th place. Felt great. It was a grind. I didn't really have that much weight. I had like 14 and a half pounds. It was just a tough day on everybody. That's good news. Bad news is I got a new mic. I've been playing around with it, and a little bit of user error. Somehow I used the wrong cord or whatever. But anyways, I have zero audio for the entire day. So I'm just gonna kind of do a little highlight video here for y'all, and then come back and do a little like recap. How my day went. I got the 2 rods that cut all my fish on. I'll show you the baits, kind of the setups that I was using, and I'm gonna play these little clips and be right back.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb.
Back. So I did a little bit of pre-fishing for this tournament, and I just posted that video yesterday, so it's out there. I kind of caught fish everywhere, shallow, deep, contrary to the weights that were put out from this tournament. Toho had been fishing pretty good, pretty easy to catch fish. That being said, all of my bigger fish were coming offshore. It's catching a lot of good fish in scattered hydrilla out in the middle of the lake. You could go shallow and catch a lot of males. So to start out the tournament, I went deep. That's where my bigger fish were. And the first spot I stopped at was kind of dead. There was a lot more boats there than I thought. It was a community hole. But I think my co-angler caught like one dink that didn't measure. I saw another boat catch one that didn't measure. It was definitely dead. We're getting a lot later in the year. A lot of the fish are wanting to spawn. Just the water temperatures have been cooler, so I was really hoping that those fish would stay there. But I really think that they were just kind of working their way towards the bank. So I fished that for a couple hours and went to my second offshore spot, which was a little more of a sneaky deal. There wasn't any boats around there. And I started fishing. And one of the key things that I was getting a lot of bites, bigger bites on, was throwing a little spook. This is a little Yozuri, the 3DB. It's the smaller one of their spooks. It's probably my favorite spook. It has a lot of good action. It's real tight, back to back. It casts really good. I change out the hooks for some real sticky hooks. But a lot of my bigger bites were coming on top water, even though I was fishing 8-10 foot of water. And pull up there, and first couple casts, I caught a 3, like one, a little over 3.5. I was like, sweet. They're still here. I just got to put in my time, stick to the top water, and try and get some bigger bites. Well, not long after that, I had one hit the spook that probably about 2 to 3 pounder. Just missed the bait. One wouldn't commit a second time. And then a little bit after that, I had a big one miss a spook. Big wake. It was definitely 4+. I mean, he hit it probably 15, 20 feet from the boat, so I could see the big swirl. It was not a small fish, but he just kind of just kissed the back hook, never really got it, and didn't hit it again. That's how it goes. And then the wind started to pick up. And once that wind picked up, it was hard to throw this top water and get him to commit to it. And I just straight up couldn't get a bite on anything else on that offshore stuff. At the time, I think I had that 3.5. I think I had one that barely measured, and my co-angler had 2 that were in that 13-inch range as well. And I looked at my co-angler and I was like, hey, offshore bite's definitely going away. The wind's picking up. We're going to go shallow. Spend the rest of the day, try and get our limit. There's a lot of fish shallow. Said most fishermen catching shallow are in that pound, a pound and a half range, but we can both go get our limit hopefully and go from there. And my co-angler goes, well, right over in this spot, I caught a bunch of 2-pounders the day before when I pre-fished, and I was like, well, sounds better than what I was finding offshore or finding by the banks. I was like, I knew the spot. I fished it years past, and it's a good spot. So I was like, yeah, let's go. We pulled in there and started catching them. I ended up getting my limit. I had about that 9 to 10 pound range. My co-angler hadn't got his limit yet, and I was like, hey, we got like 3 or 4 hours left in the day. Let's go run some other shallow spots and try and upgrade. And spent about an hour and a half doing that, and it just wasn't happening. There was definitely a lot of fish in that first shallow spot that we started at. So I was like, hey, I don't think I can cull up any more in there, but my co-angler hadn't got a limit yet. And I was like, hey, let's go back to this spot, try and get your limit, all that stuff. So we pulled in there with like hour and a half left in the day, and got on a really good bite. I caught a lot of fish. Ended up catching a couple more like 2-pounders, and then ended up catching a 4.5 pounder, which got me up to that 14-10. That saved my day, really. I got to give credit to my co-angler. Just because I know the spot doesn't mean I would have went there if he didn't suggest it. I didn't pre-fish that spot. It's just a spot that I had been fishing for years that I hadn't been to in a while. So sometimes that's how it goes. If maybe I would have worked my way there, maybe I wouldn't have, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. So big shout out to, it was David White Outdoors. He's got a YouTube channel, go check him out. Sadly, he didn't end up getting his limit, but he still did pretty well for points. He had the bites. It was just one of them days. We all have them. But what really saved the day for me was throwing this Magnum speed worm. I got a 3/16 pegged tungsten on it, and I think I was throwing it through the pads, and I was fishing it like a big easy on the pretty much on the surface. Even with this weight, it was helping me get through the pads a little bit because they were pretty thick. But I think what really made the difference is I was throwing 20-pound fluorocarbon and this kind of shiner color because the water is crystal clear. And I caught a lot of fish. I mean, like the last 45 minutes of the day, I caught over 15, maybe more, and a bunch of 2-pounders, pound and 3/4, that 4.5 that really put me over the edge, and it was fun just casting it out and kind of just reeling it through the pads like you would a big easy without a weight. The weight just helped me kind of get down and under the pads just a little bit, and most of the fish that I were catching, I was watching them eat it because the water was so clear. It became fun. I mean, I caught a lot of fish throughout the day up shallow. I still, in my opinion, the weather was great for the weights to be up. I think what had happened is I heard a lot of the water down in Kissimmee was dirty, which is going to make that bite harder. And I think the big females are just in that real weird in-between. There's a few offshore, a few shallow. They're working their way, and they're not really anywhere like thick. They're wanting to go shallow, but the water temperature was still in low to mid 60s, and they're just kind of waiting for that water to warm to make that big push up shallow. That being said, the water on Toho was so clear, I did see a lot of beds in like 6 foot of water. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those females weren't going shallow in the first place because the water is so clear. They're just waiting to spawn out in that 4 to 6 foot range. But it was fun. I got my first top 10. Saved my season. I was 101st the first term of the year, and then getting 10th place moved me up into 39th in points. So if the rest of the year is just mediocre, I should have the points to make the regional, and hopefully we do, because I'd love to go fish Santee Cooper. But until then, I think the next tournament's in like 2 weeks, back at the Harris Chain. It should be a lot easier, a lot more fun, I should say. We'll get some warm weather. We'll be like a week behind the full moons. There might be a few spawning, pre-spawn, post-spawn. Hopefully it's fun. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm just excited for what the rest of the year has. It'd be cool if I can get a few more top 10s. This is only my second year as a boater in the BFL, so I'm very happy that I got it, regardless of, hey, sometimes a little help from co-angler does not hurt. And typically I don't really use any information from my co-anglers. I like to do my own thing, but I knew the spot. I knew what I was on. No matter what he was on, wasn't going to be any worse. So I mean, even if we went there and caught a bunch of 12 inches, it was better than nothing. So you just, a little suggestion can sometimes go a long way. So I'll take it when I can get it. But, I'm gonna start thinking about the next one, and I'll see y'all at Harris Chain.